everybody. I'm Kimmie Rose, and I just want to welcome you to, well, we don't really know the name of this, but we're actually connecting with our birds, and I'm going to take off my glasses because my bird always, like, she's already ready to come. Like, she's like, what are you doing? What's up, Mom? Why aren't you bringing me out? But I just wanted to just say hello to everybody, and Jennalyn's here with Rhino. I'm here with Lite. And the other birds are down in the kitchen. I sent you a little video of like something I figured out because I've got like on these big cages, they have the bird catchers, you know, like the seed catchers, you know, on the bottom, they're kind of built into them. But on the littler cages for smaller birds, I figured out that they're magnetic. So you can take these little, you know, the magnets that you put on your refrigerator with the hooks, well, you can take those and you can put them on the side of the cage, and it'll hold up the seeds catcher. So it catches the seeds, so you don't have a mess all over your floor. So I sent the video to you, Jennalyn. I just wanted to tell you that. Like, I'm like, oh, look at this bird, because Jennalyn has more than one bird. So which a lot of us do. So, but well, you wanted to ask a question. So before Blake's getting really anxious, like, what are you doing? So go ahead and introduce yourself and please ask your question.
Hey, hi, I'm Jennalyn. This is Rhino. He's 11 years old. And I guess I just wanted to find more ways to connect with Rhino. I've only had him for a week, but I feel like we've made progress. He steps up for me when I ask, like 8 out of 10 times. He's letting me scratch his head finally, and I can sneak in a kick once in a while. Every night we read Dr. Seuss books as part of the bedtime routine.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. So what do? Do you do you hold him and read it, or do you read it while he's in the cage?
So I give him time every evening to come out. We'll watch TV together. We'll talk and have treats. And then around 8, I'll take him into my room and he'll just perch on my hand while I read the books.
That is so cool. So he's all that's just sweet. I'm sorry, but that's neat that he does that. And he likes it? Does he like Dr. Seuss specifically?
He does. I tried reading Chicka Chicka Boom Boom to him. He's interested, but when you read Dr. Seuss, he actually looks at the book. He looks at the pages. Like, oh, maybe
that is so cool. So he looks at the pages and reads along with you? That is so cool. Do your kids like the kids because you work with preschoolers, right? So do they like that?
Dr. Seuss right now. They Goodnight Construction Truck and Dinosaur Stomp. And that would be me too. I don't know what it is. Nothing against Dr. Seuss, but I'm all kind of got freaked out by that cat that was sneaky, and I don't know. There's just something about that. Isn't that silly? We all have our things, right? And it's not I have cats, so it's not like I'm it's not an anti-cat thing, but it's just something about Dr. Seuss that freaks me out. It's just crazy. Humanizing the cat. The cat is kind of like a human. It's not a
cat.
You
know what? I could see that being what it is for me because I'm adjusting the camera, sorry. Because I am weird about that. There was a book and it had rats in it. And these rats were in a city. And they were sweeping the floor and all that stuff. And it was crazy because when we would I remember my dad telling me, we'd go past these neighborhoods and my dad would say, oh, there's a lot of rats that are in those houses. And I would literally think of the rats that lived in the houses, and I think they were big rats that sweep the floor. That's my imagination. I have a very vivid imagination. So I still do. And then I realized that rats aren't that tall, but he'd say they're giant rats. So
count.
I know, it's like, oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to show you something that if I can, I'm going to move this camera down here. But Blake, you see what Blake's doing? We'll open the cage here. Blake is shedding feathers. So, right, remember I was talking to you about preening your bird about. So right now, Blake is losing a lot of feathers, and so it's a time right now with the fall coming here, where you're in Hawaii, so it's very different, you know. It's a time to change, like to pull out Blake's feathers. So, but I wanted to show you. I think you were asking me about, weren't we talking about the like newspaper and that, and different things you can use?
But also the blood feathers, like, I've heard a lot about blood feathers.
I haven't had any. Can you believe that? You mean the ones that really hurt, right? That's why it's really important just to, because when you put your finger on them, you just kind of pull them up, and sometimes they fall apart. Sometimes they'll just be a whole tube. It's really interesting. I'll show you again, because you can see Blake's got a lot of it. It looks like dander right now. That's how you can tell. But I wanted to show you what you can buy this expensive cage liner. Now, if you have a female bird, a lot of times if you use newspaper, female birds will tear up the bottom of the newspaper. For some reason, they tear up newspaper, and they like make a nest with it. So I'm like, Blake, you're tearing up, you know, the bottom. I would put it on the bottom, and I put it out on the tray underneath. So what I found was contact paper works good. And you can go and get this for $1 a roll at Goodwill, you know, and it's brand new. It's all sealed up. So, you know, I always check the seal, make sure it's not been, you know, open. So I just buy that. Like, they had Angel contact paper and, you know, all different kinds. So I just wanted to tell you how inexpensive that is. You know, if you want to, I literally don't even use the sticky part. I just cut it and put it on the bottom of the cage. So that's what I use. And so another thing, these are just little things about the bird, is that I started getting moths in my house. And I'm like, what is up with all these moths? And I went to this guy that he had all kinds of birds, but he had like the coolest like bird towers and things like that. It was a shop. And I said, I am like having a problem with moths. And I noticed they were down by where I keep the bird food. And he said, when you buy bird seed, it has, a lot of times they have moths in them. So you have to freeze your bird food if you buy the seeds. So what I was going to show you is that this came out of, this came out of the freezer. Put this in the freezer. It came out. And then what I do is, I don't do that with the peanuts. He said peanuts are usually okay, but it's the seed, because I don't know if it's where they make it. Now, the bird seed that my bird doesn't always get a lot of seed, because, you know.
Fresh fruits and veggies.
It's better, yeah. But I like to, this is where what I do is put it in an airtight container, these, and then I transfer them. This is one that I always do this when people come over, because I like to be in control of how many they can give. So this one is near the bird cage, the small one. This is nuts. So a lot of times, because the kids, they want to give the bird nuts, you know what I mean? So that's what I do. So I just put them in little containers. And you know what I do? I find these containers for $1 for the whole set, you know, and so it's nice because they're good containers. Like, you spend a lot of money on these kind of containers, you know? So it's nice. So then I just slip it right under the cage. And then so if somebody comes over, then I can say, oh, then peanuts are down there. And so that way then they're handy and they can give them a peanut, and they're not just giving them anything. They're unsalted peanuts. which you already know it's better to give them unsalted. So I like to do that. I wanted to share that with you though, because the contact paper is nice. Your bird hasn't tore up and that's what makes me wonder if you have a boy.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really nest, but he will shred up paper.
Okay.
He like boxes and like foraging. So like whenever I have a box, like he'll make holes in it. But
Okay.
It's just fine whenever. But he doesn't like stuff it in his wings or make a nest.
Yeah, she would just take and tear it up at the bottom. So, but he doesn't do that.
Is like maybe lining the bottom with newspaper, and then in the tray to catch all the extra droppings is putting the cage liners, because I know that puppy pads have chemicals that aren't good for birds. So
Great.
I was doing that, but because I put newspaper down like every couple days and change it out, the bottom tray doesn't get dirty. So I'm like, oh, maybe there's a different way to do it.
Yeah. I like it too, because sometimes with the contact paper, the hoops doesn't always stick to it. So you can like shake it off, and then you can still use it and you're not, but it sticks for some reason in newspaper. So this is Blake. And you can see Blake has at the back, I don't know if you can see it, but Blake, this is where other birds, usually when you have another bird, they will pull off their feathers. Now, I'm not sure I'm sure they shed. I mean, because all birds do. Like we shed our skin, So, but Blake, one of the things I was going to say is the first thing that a bird needs to do before a bird can connect to you has to earn your trust. Trust is a big thing. And our dinner's here. So trust is a huge thing. So if a bird does not trust you, bird isn't going to come to you. So one of the things I was going to say is when you get a bird, depending on how you get your bird, if it's a baby bird, of course, it's easier because they're just like, slowly they get to know you. A lot of times they recommend that if you're buying a bird from a breeder, which is usually better, or somebody that has a bird, a lot of times when they're in it's so sad. If you buy a bird from a pet store, a lot of people don't, like I've done that where I went into a pet store and this bird has never been held. Like I'll say, oh, can I hold the bird? And they look at me like, you want to hold the bird? I'm like, yeah, I would like to. And it could be any bird. Sometimes, there were pigeons and I just wanted to hold the bird, and they're like, oh, and okay. And they're like, I go, what, can I get the bird out? So I would, put my hand in. I go, and so what you do is you always take your finger and see, Blake won't do it, but they take their tongue, and that's how they connect with you. They use their tongue to make sure they can identify you. And if they don't want to go to you, then just let them go. So if you take your finger out and you say, step up, and does your bird take its beak ever, or does it just step up?
It does. He does take his beak. I would show you, but he seems a little busy. But yeah, he sometimes he will give me like a warning bite, like to say, I'm not ready to step up.
So is it a warning bite? Does he uses the end of his beak?
He uses the end of his beak. Sometimes if he's really upset, like if someone had tried before me, like I will feel like the whole beak, like just go around my finger.
And is it strong?
It is a strong bite. Like, I don't know if you can see my hands. They're healing.
Okay.
Like, there's all in my hands.
Okay, so that's like something you have to okay, see how high he is? Do you see how I have Blake? See where you are with your bird? My bird's you should always be I wonder if you were to take something and you were to step up on it, and you were a little higher than your bird, if your bird would act different. There you go. Just kind of if you put your hand right here, See, she's like, see, she's not like even, she's just licking you. Step up. Step up. You already stepped. Step up. Step up. Yes. Hello. 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 You step up. There you go. See, there we go. We stepped up. Okay, so you can practice and you just say, if you got to touch their breast.
He wants
like
head
here.
scratch. That's what he's telling me. He wants a head scratch.
Aw, that's sweet. Yes, they like that. Hey there, Rhino. Hello, Rhino. Yep, he's scratching his own head. And it's good that you got his nails clipped. So sometimes, like I know with Blake, like what I'll do is I put my fingers down and then he steps. Right now he's already on me. See how he's doing that? He's just licking my finger. He's like, okay, that's my mom. And if you notice his beak sharp, you can get things like that, you know, but you want to let them keep their beak a little sharp because that's their natural instinct is to protect. Here's where we get the problem sometimes is the nails if they're not cut. Then you get the marks. So, but you are going to step up for mama. So see how you have a little bit of a nervousness to you still. Like you're like, oh. Now, I'm not saying that you're the boss of Rhino, but I'm saying you with birds because they can fly higher. Think about how powerful birds are. They can fly higher. They can, you know, they kind of like can get away from things, you know. So if you try to take like a deep breath in, just kind of, and then just exhale in. I can tell you right now by looking at Rhino really trusts you. Because Rhino's just sitting there. Rhino's not trying to run away. Rhino's right there, like attentive towards you. So if you're to look at Rhino, like just look at Rhino and say, hi, Rhino.
Hi, buddy. Hi, Rhino.
He's really itchy. Hi. And so what makes you, when you put your finger out there and you say step up, what makes you think he doesn't want to step up to you?
When he like puffs up or if he takes a few steps back, I'm like, okay, you're not ready. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to say it.
Because Blake will always do that. Like when I go in go in her cage, she always like she'll go up or down. And so then I just put my hand in there and I'm like, okay, you want to come? And if I shut the cage, she will then go, ooh, that was my chance to get out and be. So you may have Rhino out a lot, right? Is Rhino out a lot? Okay. So what they say is when you first bring your bird home, it's sometimes good to let them be in their cage. You know what I mean? And get used to you. It's always good to go and visit them and then bring them home. I know you went and visited and you brought Rhino home. So one of the things that, you know, they can do is they can get really spoiled and like where they're out all the time. So you kind of like, you can let them out all the time. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to get them used to saying, hey, you know what? There she is. She's going to let me out. You know, so I know that sounds mean, kind of. It does. I feel like you feel it. We're both like that. Like, oh, well, that sounds kind of mean, but it's not mean. It's not mean because it's like teaching them that you're the one that they need to connect with to come out. Does it make sense? Kind of. Like the birds, I have parakeets, and they know when I'm in the room, the one will make the one noise, like it's like pay attention to me, or I'm hungry, I want more food. And those two birds, and I'm telling you, parakeets eat a lot, and you have to really watch what you give them. Where our parrots will not overeat, so they know what they need. He knows what he needs. And he may like just look, or she may just by looking at him, it looks like he's preening. You notice how he's pulling? So he looks like he's a little itchy.
Yeah, I asked the people at the pet store yesterday, like, did you see anything? Like, does he have mites? And they said, oh, no, we didn't see anything. He did take a bath in his water bowl this morning.
Good.
I offered, like, a tub, but he wanted his water bowl. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Blake likes the water bowl, too, and Blake you can see Blake's, like, right there. See the white coming off? See? It's like, that's his feather. That's what the tubes are. They're actual tubes. So you just have to, like, see how Rhino's reaching back? Rhino can get to this part, but they can't get to this part. See? He can't, if you can notice, Blake will turn around, but yes, and the blood ones that you're talking about, those are, see? Like, does that hurt? Yeah. So sometimes what we do is I'll do this, and it's like, I just kind of like pat her like this. And then next thing you know, there's the tube. It's out. So are you at the point of with Rhino close to you yet?
Not yet. He will let me scratch his head and his back, but I haven't gotten him to a point where I can hold him against me. He'll come up to my shoulder if I let him, but he won't let me hold him. Okay.
Well, they like to do that, the shoulder. I wouldn't be doing the shoulder yet, like just because he's new. I would be doing the hand, and what I was going to say is this is like, if you notice the shirt I have on too, this shirt has been cut, and this is because when he gets like close to me and I'm doing his feathers, sometimes it's like he'll shake a little because you got to be gentle with the feathers, and I know he's going to pick at my shirt. He won't bite me. I mean, she won't bite me. She'll get my shirt. They always go for your necklace. So what you have on, I know it's hot there, but you might want to wear a shirt. You know what I mean? Just to do this. I wouldn't suggest, just in the beginning. So they like hair too. See? She's got my hair. But Blake I've had Blake since Blake came out of the egg. Like literally 2 days out of the egg. So I have little dinosaur pictures. Rhino, step up, step up, step up, step up.
You want your head scratches, I know. I can get your head scratches. You can step up.
So when you do that, the reason, Blake would do that too. The reason I say that, you're going to shake she's shaking. See? You just lost some feathers. Did you see the feathers fly? See them?
Oh, no.
Yep, the feathers. That's what she does. And then she's just letting the feathers go. So isn't it interesting how they come in? So I think that Rhino's the boss of you. What do you think?
Very possible.
Well, because I think you work with kids, and so it's like, okay, but you have to like make sure you like say, like always you touch down here. And I know because you've gotten nipped a couple times, that's kind of makes you nervous, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Now see, Blake, hey Blake, hey. She's like, but she's not nipping me like that. One time she nipped at me, and it was me like this. No. Hold at her? No. Like I don't want her to think I'm saying no to her. But it was like a no, I wouldn't recommend that everybody would do this, not until you get used to your bird. Does that make sense? Like you get a little bit more used. Like I will actually stick my tongue out and she'll kiss me, but you have to. It's really important you touch this part. And when she does that, like, it's just like naturally, see, she's not doing anything, but that's what they do. If you watch them get on a perch, sometimes you'll notice they rub up and then they know, okay, I'm getting on my perch. She has lots of feathers down here that need to be pulled too. So we're going to have to spend some time sitting and getting these feathers out. So I'm going to ask you to practice this. You don't have to do it right now because it feels like you're a little nervous about, you're like, oh, she wants this, or he wants this, he wants it.
Like, we're
Pardon?
still bonding. Like, him and I were still bonding. I'm still trying to develop that trust, so I don't want to push it too far.
No,
you know what I mean?
No. And but you can, like, get him to trust you by just touching this part. And I'm curious, are you nervous to touch that part right now?
No, I'm not. I mean, I just worry about, like, even yesterday putting him in the carrier. I feel like I took many steps back in terms of developing trust. So, like,
okay.
When I'm not ready, I'm like trying to respect that.
He's really trusts you. You know why I know that? Because he's just standing right there. Just they clipped his wings?
And his nails.
So do you have a peanut?
Not on hand. We're working on more veggies. So I have corn here.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Like, of sunflower seeds. So I haven't been giving him sunflower seeds lately.
Okay. Just a little bit at a time then. So did you see what Blake was doing? Blake was crawling up my arm to get to my shoulder, and I just put my hand in there and said, nope, you're going right there. So do you see when they look at you, how they really look at you as they turn their eyes? Do you see Jennalyn? Blake?
Hi.
Can you say hi? Yes. Hello? She got my ring. So it's just real, like right now, like Blake would want to be out forever with me, like. But what I really feel like you need to do, because you're a little nervous right now, is you need him to want to come out. He needs to come out to you. But I know that because I can feel you. I know that this is like hard, but that trust comes with this. You got to go in your cage, and it's an awful feeling to, like, sometimes to, like, put them in their cage. But I can tell you, look at Blake. Blake's fine. Blake's fine. But what I do know about birds is when you first get them, not to let them out all the time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise because I can feel that it's just that it's if you want to be able to get them to step up in that, get them to step up from their cage with you before they go to that stand. Does that make sense?
It does. And I feel like weekends I'm probably letting him out more than I should. But like weekdays time, that's when it's just like maybe a couple hours when I come home from work after I shower and stuff like that. And like, I know when the wants to come out, but I'm like, I gotta go to work. Like, he can't come out right now. So,
and he's like looking at you, like,
he looks at me. That's when I notice he mimics my voices the most, and I wonder if it's him trying to get my attention.
That's what he's doing, yeah. And that's what right now he's not, like, he knows you're there, but he's not paying a lot. You know what I mean? So if you're working on training, the cage is your trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the cage is a yes or no. I can, some of the cages, my old cage, I used to open up here. I don't know if your cage opens up. And then there's like a stand that was on this cage. But, because this cage is different. I actually had my cage for maybe 10 years, and then about 13 years, then it fell apart. So I really feel like, oh, I've lost you for a minute. I think it's really important to use your cage more than the stoop, if that makes sense. So like the next time we talk, we'll start with your bird being in the cage, if that's okay. And then we'll talk. We'll just talk, and then watch how easy it is to, what do you do when you let the bird out? Do you put the bird on your hand, or does this bird go by itself?
So like what I've been doing is, like, I talk to him at his cage, like, this is his cage that goes up here, but I usually just open up this door after I'm talking with him. I ask him, do you want to come out? And like, he'll usually stand like right here on this perch. And then
okay.
I hold my hand, because the stand I keep like right over there. Like, do you want
So
to
he
hold
holds,
stand?
he gets on your hand?
Not
Sorry.
yet. We're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not
so
quite there yet. Sometimes he'll stand at the bottom door and he'll let me do it. Like, he'll step up for me there, but
okay.
that really just...
So did he know, like when you were went over to his owners, did he know the word step up? Or did you ever ask them that?
He didn't do it for them, but they told me that he knew it and he would do it. I just didn't see it when I was there.
So as long as you know that...
He can. Like, he's done it for me a few times.
So that's like, for anybody that's watching, this is really important for them for you to know that that's a word, step up, that's important. Step up, step up. And they will know that means, and it's just like, boom, before you know it, they do it. And so when your bird, see how your bird, how you move your hand away real quick? If you gotta let the bird do that before the bird will get on your finger, or the bird's not gonna get on your finger. Yeah. That is trust.
Yeah. The thing is, that wasn't one of the trust bites. That was the don't touch my head bite. So yeah.
So were you touching like I
was trying to get something off his head. I was trying to get something off his head. He didn't like that.
So what I always say is here in the breast, finger to the breast, and then it's like legs up a little higher than, see, taste, and then step up, see what I just did, and then you go back on. See what I just did? I put my finger there, tasting my, Blake, I would never suggest anybody. That is a respect you do for your bird, is let your bird use their tongue. Because if somebody comes around that you wouldn't want holding your bird will not go to that person if they don't have that trust with their tongue. That's their sensory. That's the safety. For children, what's the safety? What do you do with children?
For me, it's just like, if they're screaming, if they're like crying, they obviously need to get away and get that space to calm down. Like, I'll give it to them, but I'll be nearby.
So when you first meet a child with the parent and that child's holding the parent's hand, do you put your hand out? Or no, they'll come, how does it work? I was just wondering with kids.
I get down to their level, I'll talk with them, maybe I'll sit with the parents, kind of show them that, the parents are okay with me, I'm a safe person to be around, let's play together, I'll offer them a toy or something, and then we'll just take it slow. Sometimes, the first day of school when their parents leave, I might sit with them for a while. I might hug them or hold them if they let me. But that's usually not the case. It's usually me sitting with them.
That makes sense to me. So I like to ask you advice that you have for connecting with kids as we're talking about the birds, because you're also a teacher. You're a real teacher, and it's good for people to know that. So just like we respect kids, when we respect our birds, you respect your bird by, kids can do it by watching. Birds need to taste. So when you get your bird, it's a very soft, I know it's scary because you've gotten bit, okay? So when you've had some bites, your bird, it'll be gentle. So the thing is I know you like to have your bird out, but I would have your bird in the cage, and it wouldn't be, you're not going over to that stand unless you're stepping up. Mm-hmm. I know that's like hard knock, but...
Oh, no, I've been trying that too. I've really been trying that. And sometimes he will step up for me, and that's when he can come to the stand. That's what happened today. So that's why he's on the stand.
And that's or step up, and even if you don't want to show the stand because you want bonding time, you want the bonding time, your bird is going to hold your finger. I always put my finger there. So it's like, you're not going to get off my finger, you know, because the one thing about their hands is you can keep them on your hand. Like I can keep Blake on my hand. And I've done that with, like, there was a bird named, like I told you about the bird named Captain, that the mother was like, oh, I don't think you want to hold Captain. Captain had a beak the size of your bird's head. Like, it was a big bird, like huge beak. And I'm like, Captain, and I just got up. I stood up. She was letting Captain rule her. You know, like, oh, okay, Captain. I'm like, this is, no, it's not that. I'm like, come on, step up. And I said it with power, step up. And then I put my finger out. She's like, oh my God, like the bird's gonna bite you. Tongue on my hand. Hello. That's what, if I was there in person, I would do it right now. And you would see the bird would not bite me. Birds are psychic. So don't think of the word bite. Okay? Like, it's so important not to think of the word bite. Because and I do know, because even with Blake, like, there's been times that Blake's like goes, gives a growl. And she doesn't feel good, or she doesn't want to come out. Like, you'll notice the sounds they give. So, and I'm just saying it's so important. Do you have any questions?
I think you kind of answered one of them. Like, I was just like, how do I discipline in a way? Because I know African Greys are super, super sensitive, and they hold grudges.
Yes.
So I was just, what is a good way to tell him that biting is not okay, but still, stay on relatively good terms?
In the cage, and it's like it's not punishment, but it's like in a cage, like and your bird is used to, likes to be out. You know what I mean? Like, I have a stand, and it's outside. Because normally when Blake comes out, Blake's like with me, where, we'll go wherever I go. But Blake only goes to certain people. For some people, Blake will not go to. And so I always tell them, I'm like, if you have any nervousness, you're going to get bit. Don't have nervousness. Dogs do it too. If you have like a nervous, like sometimes dogs will growl at you. You know what I mean? If you're nervous. But if you're not nervous, it's just like, that's what I say is with people, like, it's so important how a person is. You know what I mean? Now, if you have a bad day, the neat thing about birds is birds will cheer you up. Like, and they'll talk to you. And I can tell your bird, we got wings clipped, right? Because something feels different. Hi there. Yeah. And what's going on? My nails feel weird. You know what I mean? Things feel different. But they get a lot of relief when they get their nails clipped. Because that's like because think about it, when they're scratching themselves, if they're sharp, it hurts. Yeah. So that's a mom takes care of me thing. I thought about it when you told me that you put the bird in the cage. The first thing that came to me was, I thought the bird thought you were going to take it away and go somewhere else.
I thought
like that.
Because I bought him a new toy when I was at the pet store.
Yeah, that's so cool.
No, it's a good place to go out. Like, I'm really considering harness training him so we don't have to deal with the kennel. We don't have to.
Those,
he can come out more and learn, like, going out doesn't mean we're going somewhere else. I mean, like, we're not getting rid of you. We're not going somewhere, like, where you're going to be done stuff too. Like, you can just come out to the store with me. Like,
right. Well, and what's nice with that is even where you live, it's warm all the time. So, like, here it gets cold, so you got to kind of put them in something and cover up their cage, because birds can catch colds real easy. There you go. Now, see, you're comfortable right now when the toy is in between the two of you, aren't ya?
My finger is, like, right here.
That would be a time to, like, I wonder if you were to take your other hand and say, step up. Step up. Did he taste in you? There. Did he just put his tongue on you?
No, it was a nip.
Okay. Was it a hard nip though?
It wasn't the hardest he's ever done, but it was a little bit more force than he's been giving me the past couple days.
Okay. So when he nips, in the cage. Sorry. No toy, no nipping. You're not my boss. Right now he's in charge. But you're just a new mom. You're just learning. So it's kind of like even a baby. When you're breastfeeding a baby, you're like, oh, I'm bleeding. Like it hurts like when you're breastfeeding. And you have to work with the vibration. And your baby will not like latch on so hard. You know what I mean? Because they're just learning too. So, and I can tell that, look at, now he's got his head up. Oh, now he's putting his head back there. But he had his head up. You had that toy out there. There was a comfort level. So the other suggestion I'm going to make is you find a toy that has a stand on it. If you know what I mean, where you can put it under and say step up, or you can get a glove if you want, if you're really nervous. Because you really got to get that step up is the first form of training. Step up. So, and then you get all the cuddles and all that. And I would call the owners and find out if they help. Did they hold the bird a lot? I know the bird took showers, you said.
Yeah. You know, I'm not sure. Because when I was there, like, they didn't really hold the bird.
So I'm curious. So ask them, if you can contact them, ask them, do they hold the bird a lot? Because if they didn't, and let me know, if they didn't, then we'll work with some other things, if that makes sense. Yeah. So because I can tell you a harness is going to tick your bird off. So
it's gonna really be hard.
Because your bird is, if they didn't hold the bird, then that bird is usually probably because they let the bird be in charge, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And birds, they're not gonna hurt you if you're the one that feeds them and takes care. Like, it's very important. I feel so bad when they're like Blake's, you know, like it's like, come on, Mom, help me out here. So we got so many feathers. Look at all these feathers. I'm gonna pull them out that have come out, and it could be the, you know, but let me show you. Leslie, hi, hello, hi. See? Oh, there you go. Very good. You're not nervous. Hi there. Hello. He tasted ya. Hi, Rhino. Hello. Hi. I see you. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi there. Hi. That's a smart bird to note, because Blake wasn't even looking at the camera. Hi there. Hi. Hey. Hello.
Don't eat it.
And so you notice with you take the, like, a lot of times, yes, and you can take your finger and you can hold the bird, like with your other finger on the same hand. You don't have to offer your other hand, but you hold the bird like that. Okay. That's okay. You do what's comfortable, but you've been held before, I can tell. Yeah. You're okay. Yeah. That's real good, because a lot of times they fly. If you don't hold them, they'll fly. Mm-hmm. Here's all the feathers. Look at all these feathers. Oh. So I a lot of times take the feathers and I'll attach them to my sage bundles. So then you have the little tiny feathers. Hi there. Kisses. 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 Kisses.
Which I appreciate. He's letting me get closer. Like I can.
Yes. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell that. Oh yeah, he is very comfortable with you. And he's not flying off your hand, so he's been held before. And see that, actually the poofing is love. A lot of times that's a loving. Cats do that too. When you pat them, they get all poofy, you know?
Yeah.
Huh. So you love your mama? I see you. I see you. Pretty bird. Hi there. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. You're a good bird. How long have you held? Is this the longest you've held the bird? Is it the longest?
I mean, like, when we read our Dr. Seuss at night, it's like half an hour. So, like, I'll hold him.
Cool. So he just sits and, oh, that's so cool. You'll have to take a video of that. And
I'll send you. I took a few.
I would love to see that. So, hi, Rhino. Hello. Yes. You see his eyes, too. He's very happy.
And he's gonna his foot, like one of his feet, like it means he's content, like he's relaxed. So at first I was just like, oh no, what's wrong with his foot? And then I learned it's just how they sleep.
Yeah.
He's feeling he's on one foot.
They will do that, and like I said, just like for trust is the tongue, and different birds are like that with their body. And then he's letting you put him lower than you. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when birds are like, I'm not ready for you to control me. When they're lower, this is what I learned when I took Blake to flight school, which Blake went through flight school. It was, they will lower, they try to get to your there so they can be higher. It's always lower. It's always good when because it's not like you're the boss in a mean way. It's just they need to feel safe and protected. That somebody, I mean, they're not with their mom. Or mommy, you know? So, and you're okay. Yes, you're okay with the camera. I take my glasses off because, I don't know, I always think about what if some person came at me with big, you know what I mean? That's kind of like, so I like to take my glasses off. So, hi. Yes, I know you can hear. Oh yeah, he's totally cool with you. Good. So next week, we're going to work on trust again, and we'll start from the cage. Sound good? Start from the cage. Anything you want to share?
I mean, not really. I mean, I feel like we've made a lot of progress in 1 week. I'm glad I don't have a ton of holes in them right now.
He's very, very content. It's funny because I can see him looking at me. It's really neat that he can see through the camera, you know? Hi. I love people think I'll just go into somebody's house and I'm like right there. Can you hold your birds? They're like, really? I don't even hold my bird. So, hello. Hello. So if you're out there and you're watching this, your bird likes to be held. Yes. Huh. You hear my voice? That's a lovey bit. Yes. Hi. Hi. He's like, hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Yeah.
Rhino. Whoa.
He's like, what you doing? Are you going to go fly away? You can't fly through the camera.
The elliptical is right here, so he sees like one of the bars and he's just like, oh, that'd be a fun perch.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me this week. And next week, if you have, we'll work with trust, but then I'd love it if you have any questions just to share with me. Anything you want, if you even want to know if there's something going on. And about the bloody, you're concerned about the bloody feathers. So I haven't
experienced it yet, but I hear stories.
So what have you heard about,
like that, you know, like sometimes they're not meant to come out right away, or that, you know, or, you know, like sometimes you do have to remove them and it's very painful.
It's like an ingrown hair. Yeah. Yeah, I don't with Blake lets his own feathers go. I just take the tubes off the feathers. So Blake's feathers will fall out and then the new one grows in. I don't pull the feathers out. I just pull the tubes like this. I'll show you. You see this part here? This is like a tube. And that's what the feather is in.
Oh, Kimmie, you're off camera.
I'm off camera? Am I?
Oh, the feather is off camera.
Okay. Is it off camera still?
It's like right at the edge.
Can you see it? No?
No.
Am I bigger or smaller? Okay, there we go. Can you see it now?
Mm-hmm.
Am I bigger in your camera?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a tube. And so what I do is kind of like pull the tube like that. I just kind of do that and it comes off. So, and then the feather gets big. so the feather isn't even fully ready, you know, and then it's just really, I'll have to send you a picture of how it works. But, and then like, this is a big feather. So this is like, it's a different part. That's what I like about Amazon. They'll have red and, you know what I mean? Different colors, but all birds are nice. This is just a gray one, but we do have some red. We have a red one here. See? A red one. So, but that's when you know, like, that's when I know the seasons are changing. Her red ones are her feathers that are beneath her wings, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and then they got the little ones, the tiny feathers. So, but you can feel them when you touch them. You notice they're right there, you know, they've got, if that's what hurts them, if you don't take those tubes off, then they can get infections and that. That's why it's important to, unless you have another bird that is going to preen them. And that's why, like parakeets are the ones that you always want to have too, because they get so lonely. They love to have a partner. Parakeets. I got a piece of poop on my hand. I'm like going to wipe it off. So, but, and I'm not going to touch my face because that's one thing is, you know, make sure you clean your hands. So
yeah,
don't put it in your mouth. Right. So I have special cleaner too. I don't use like any cleaner. The cleaner I use is a special cage for the cage.
Oh yeah, I have something similar to
And
that.
yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me though that, and I'm not sure about this, I would have to check it, but the person that told me this is a person I trust, you know, because they've had birds for a long time. They use like lighter fluid to clean the perches, the poop off of it. Me, I would just get a new perch, but probably.
Or power wash it, because I feel like lighter fluid has a lot of chemicals and strong.
That's what I think. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, you could power wash it. I never thought about that. So this one, this is the main perch, I just make sure that she doesn't tend to poop on her main perch. It's weird. But the other one, sometimes she'll poop. You know, they poop, but she's doing pretty good with her perches. She's not pooping on them. So, and if you have a female, like the one thing that's really hard, I'll have to show you, is sometimes she wants to lay an egg and she hasn't been able to lay an egg. And she just tries so hard and I feel so bad for her. So, but they do, I've heard that that's because they need to have that masculine energy around. Like, I'm a female, so it's not gonna, you know what I mean? There's like that energy needs to be present.
That's another reason I think Rhino's a boy, is because he's 11 years old. He's never laid an egg. He's never tried.
And he doesn't, like, you can see they open up and they're like, I feel so sorry for her when she does that. So, yeah, he's probably a boy. So, so sweet. And you have another bird.
I do. I have Lou. He's kind of hiding in his pineapple bed right now.
Is he like okay with Rhino?
We're still in the quarantine period. Like when you first get a new bird and you have birds in the house, there's supposed to be like a month where you separate them. So I'm still
right.
letting them interact.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was just wondering how your bird is with you. Like is the bird mad because there's another bird, or pretty good?
I haven't noticed, but I know Rhino does like look at me differently if I'm playing with the dogs. Like if I'm just giving them lots of love, I'm like laying on the floor with them in a different room, but still in eyesight. Like I notice he'll start mimicking me, or he'll like look at me different. But
that's funny. They're pretty good. They're pretty good with animals. And I always joke, and I'm like, I'll see the cats getting up there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that bird's gonna nip your head off. So it's like that cat gets up there, and it's like Blake thinks it's funny too. So, well, thank you. Love you. Bye. Everybody, have a good week. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Peace. Bye-bye.
Static is just forming some chords and some walls. I'm static without the ends. And every breath of hers was a thorn in his eye. And every petal's blushing red. It's on my fingers.